I'd like to welcome everybody here to the Influential Leader podcast, where we talk to amazing leaders in industries making changes. So with me today, I have Ashley Till, who's an amazing businesswoman based out of Wichita, who has come in and restructured business, helped build her own succession plan, and continues to do so within industry and community. And the main reason we're here today is because she's having a hand in this amazing project called Women Score Higher. And we want to know more about this project and the part that you play in this, Ashley. So tell me a little bit about why did you get involved initially with Women Score Higher?
So SCORE as an organization is an alliance of retired executives, and they come together on a national level and provide free coaching and mentoring services. So executives like me trying to master retirement, but still very passionate about the small business workforce, are giving their time to the community and offering basically the same thing, Sarah, you and I used to do as coaches and consultants to small businesses. I see a lot of startups and micro businesses in the group, but the reason that I chose to deliver to SCORE is about 25 years ago, my dad had an experience with SCORE where one of the top executives in the Wichita, Kansas area became his mentor. So at a time when he wasn't quite sure how to take his business next level, SCORE was there to support him. And it ended up helping take his business from $1 million in revenue construction company to about a $5 to $10 million in revenue construction company in just a matter of a few years. And I always knew at some point from all of the great stories that my dad said that one day I would figure out a way to give back to SCORE. I didn't really think it would be this way though, because I never thought I was going to take over a construction company. Yes. And I never thought I would be looking at retirement at the ripe old age of 52.
Yeah. Yeah.
But here I am.
Yes. Yeah. I love that you call it retirement, but realistically, it really isn't a retirement. You're still just as busy as you were.
It's like a break.
A break from this work, doing other work.
Yeah, it's a break from being out front for a while.
Yeah.
Really all just because of, my accident a couple of years ago. Yeah. The interesting thing also about SCORE is there's so many generations involved. We help small businesses that are young adults, like 16 to 20, all the way up to people that are trying to retire that aren't quite sure. They want to know our trade secrets. You talked about succession planning earlier, and sometimes we find ourselves helping them figure out the way to exit their business the way we did ours.
Yeah. And I think it's going to be a growing challenge in the business world in the next 10 years, because you've got all these baby boomers that have probably started amazing businesses but hadn't thought about how they're going to exit. So I think there's a real opportunity there for that side of business.
For sure. And, not many people know that there is a free resource nationally. And the way that we're able to connect virtually now, if there's not somebody in your local SCORE chapter area, you can go anywhere in the nation. Like, we can figure out a way to get you connected. And then, sister, because Women Score Higher, this year, we took it international with you, right?
So I guess the point of coming to Australia and involving someone from Australia was to show the businesses that need help that you can go global. So how important do you think it is for businesses to think globally today?
How do I say that
one
more time?
How important do you think it is for businesses to think globally?
It's so important because the resources through different generations and different cultures are so abundant in nature. And I think that for those that don't maybe naturally think outside of the box, to just know that there's somebody on the other side of the world that might be able to help you look at your business from a different perspective because of the challenges that they're dealing with, say in a pandemic. I'm sure the way the pandemic impacted you guys was different than the way the pandemic impacted our small community where I live in Douglas, Kansas, where we only have about 10,000 people. And then, we've got about, I'm going to say probably around 500,000 in the Wichita metro area versus, what's the population in your area?
Well, in Australia, it's 26 million total.
Right.
But on the Eastern Seaboard, depending on which state you're looking at maybe 6 million adults. Yeah, it's not huge compared to what you are.
So,
um,
this
but
the
small
thing.
business is our biggest industry, basically. Like the 94% of Australian business is small.
So, one of the things that I learned in SCORE is that a lot of these retired executives that have come in were coming from large organizations in the US, like Cargill or Koch Industries or Spirit or places like that may operate internationally. And bringing in those resources was really interesting. A lot of these executives didn't even know the gifts that they had that they could provide a small business, because running a large corporations of tens of thousands of people really isn't that much different than running an organization with 10 people, right? It's just the way you apply the practice and the process.
Yeah.
So
I think the biggest difference I've always noticed between large corporations and small business is the process, in the sense that the flexibility is not necessarily there, and that's why I've always loved working with small business, because you do have that pivot and that opportunity to be flexible, and there's not as much bureaucracy, and you can make changes really quite quickly. Whereas obviously the larger organization's a little bit more of a slower beast in that sense. So I guess the fun side of it is small business.
And it's so refreshing when some of these retired executives in corporate come to small business and they see how easy it is just to apply some fundamental leadership practice or fundamental financial management practice and on a smaller scale. And it usually blows the socks off of some of these small businesses, right? So what a gift. And I just think we have that same gift by sharing globally.
Yes. And what about, so someone from Australia looking at this now, understanding that this is happening on the 21st of April or 20th here.
420.
Yes. So 19th here. No, first, we're 21st.
Oh, right.
I want to get my dates right. Anyway, we'll work it out. We'll send you an invite if you want to come along, so it's correct. We've worked that out, that we can do that. What are we going to gain? How are we going to learn, earn, and return if we get to come to SCORE and visit?
Well, we have an amazing lineup of speakers for about a 5-hour window. We're very excited about a panel that we call Ageless Entrepreneurship, where we have entrepreneurial women from the ages of 16 to late 60s. So having the audience see that there's really no boundaries in when you can go independent and start your own business and create a lot of success will be exciting to share. The other panel I'm super excited about is the Ultimate Health panel. And, there's a lot of conversations going along, I think, since the pandemic about practicing good health and wellness and that sort of thing. But we took this Ultimate Health panel next level, in my opinion, because not only are we assessing health, physical and mental, but we're looking at spiritual health and financial health and business health. So when we talk about ultimate health, it goes far beyond just what's here.
Yeah.
It's also the around you that impact you.
Yeah. Well, I think without health, you can't have a healthy business. So it's really good, exactly. Really relevant, isn't it? And I love the fact that you've got, the ageless panel, in the sense of starting at 16. So is that a normal thing where you are to start a business so young, or is that something that you're inspired to encourage? Tell us a little bit about younger people getting involved.
Yeah, I'm definitely inspired to encourage it personally, maybe because I'm a mother of 5 and I have 4 daughters, and I have always told them all mom wants for you is to be happy, healthy, and independent. And, being an independent, being able to operate independently and make your own money, I think is something I've always tried to teach my children. Now, full disclosure, in the Wichita Metro, we are so good at nourishing our entrepreneurs, whether it is startups or existing entrepreneurs, youth, female, LGBTQ, all of these. We have some really significant organizations here that are impacting this community and bringing people together. I was so blessed when I left, retired from the construction company and kind of entered this new world where I wasn't traveling nationally to handle large construction projects. I was staying here in the Wichita Metro, and I just met this community of youth and women and minorities that did not have the same resources that some of us have in our business life.
Yeah.
So Wichita Metro does a great job of getting those resources out front, and so many free resources. Is it like that for you?
Yeah, definitely. We definitely have hubs like that. And in fact, where I am now on the Sunshine Coast, I can see that it's really growing and developing, and it's actually backed by our government. So they're doing a lot of grants and contributions. Yeah. And I know there's a few things coming up this year. So they're definitely nurturing. I think they're understanding from a corporate and national level that the importance of small business, because it's small business as they grow. If you help them support, then that obviously offers employment and money coming into the region. And that's obviously a great business plan for any region.
Right. We see that a lot here as well. I can't wait to visit you and see some of those hubs and just see how they compare, just the curiosity.
Yep.
I'm so excited to see that.
What other panels are we going to see at SCORE?
Well, so those two panels, but we also have 2 breakout sessions based on the learn, earn, and return model. So the learn for the first breakout session is the personal development by a team of they were teachers that decided to start their own behavioral coaching organization. So a couple of teachers teaching us how to build self-awareness and just to gain a deeper understanding of how it will benefit their career and their success. And then the earn model is a local that is handling a presentation called Helping Creators to Start, Grow, and Buy for their small businesses. And then our return module will be lady Kathy Newman, who's very involved as a networker throughout the state of Kansas. And she put together a presentation called We Are Better Together. So we're excited about bringing these different ladies to the WSU Metroplex here. And then, of course, they're going to be able to watch it from
anywhere.
Your territory as well. So It's so nice that just through a Zoom, they can hook up with any of these. Yeah, we would really enjoy seeing all of your locals virtually, and maybe next year you can host in Australia.
Yes. I think we've been planning that. I think it's going to be like a retreat to get here.
Yes. Something about a boat.
Yes. Yes, I'm sold on that one, definitely. You don't have to keep selling me on that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, there's an opportunity also, I guess, for anyone in your network, Ashley, around behavioral and understanding self. We do an influential leader program. So we're relaunching that. It's been on and off going since 2019, all online. Globally, people have participated in the program, and we're relaunching for the 27th of April, and we're actually doing it at 7 a.m. so people from the US can easily come. So it's 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. where you are.
Yes. Is it a series then? Is it several?
Yes, it's actually a 12-week program, and it's all about understanding yourself and how you're building your leadership and your communication within your career, within your organization. And then obviously the off benefit of that is your family and your people that are around you get to benefit from leadership.
Yeah, very nice.
I think leadership is very important in the sense that it doesn't matter if you are the owner of the business or the leader of the business. It's about, your responsibilities, your behavior, The way you communicate, whether you're a 2IC or you're someone, on machinery on the floor helping an organization grow, every part matters. Every person matters.
Yes, and a lot of the organizations that I work with, we always talk about having an entrepreneurial spirit when you're working for the organization, because just like you said, it doesn't matter what you do in the business, it's vitally important to its success. So
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I actually, when I first started coaching back in 2015, I had a program called the Entrepreneur Mindset. So
mhm.
we actually started and tested that on athletes before we took it to business.
Oh, nice. That's
Yeah.
probably, yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So tell me, are you ready? We're 10 days out, sister. Are
Yes.
you ready for
Yes.
this?
So lots of awesome things happening. We're talking about how leaders communicate, and we're twisting it on to with generational. So obviously, with the generations coming into the marketplace, Generation Z, who's just going to start coming, like they're just popping their head up right now, are going to be the biggest generation in the marketplace in the next 10 years. And so we need to understand how to communicate with them, how to work with them, because it is different. They've had a total different upbringing. Their experience for COVID was so different to us as an adult. And so we're going to start seeing that coming through the workforce over the next few years, and especially as baby boomers are leaving the workforce. The
Yes.
generation X's and Y's are taking over, and we've brought up these children that are generation Z's and A's, and we have to communicate with them.
Yes, I remember learning a long time ago that the forecast for how business would be done by 2025 is that most of the workforce would be independents that just chose organizations that they wanted to serve, and we would have all this, freedom and flexibility to do it from anywhere in the world, and it's happening. And
It is happening, and I think if you're stuck in the old mindset of how to do business and you're not willing to change, then yeah, your business won't survive. And we've always kind of talked about business culture and how important it is. But now if you don't have the culture, they're not staying. It's not like the days when we were coming through industry that people would stay for 10, 15 years in a business. 3 years I think is going to be the top. And not
yeah,
even, and you're not even competing against other businesses. Like, a lawyer's not necessarily
right.
going to leave to go to another law firm. They're going to leave and become a psychiatrist. You know what I mean? So you've got so much more competition for your team.
That is so true. And now it seems that you can learn everything independently online. You don't necessarily need to go into a traditional classroom setting at a university or a tech school. I do think that the age of apprenticeships is coming back as well. And man, I really hope that these small businesses nurture internship programs and apprenticeship programs, because I think sharing that experience
Yeah.
really ties into what I think learning, earning, and returning is about, right?
Yeah, very true. Very true. And look, I know that there is a focus here for that. Because yeah, otherwise it just gets so expensive, supply and demand. So we definitely need more people in the industry. And they're the ones that survive all this, when things are going down, because people still need trade no matter what's happening in the
Right.
economy.
That is for sure.
Yes, no, I absolutely agree. And I think it's a good opportunity to start thinking about, how are you working with leadership in your organization? And, whether you're a solopreneur, leadership's still important because you're dealing with your clients and your community.
Right.
And then you're bringing people in. And I love the fact that, if you can mentor someone through, you're not only going to help your own business, but you're going to help them to start their journey.
Yes. And, I also encourage a lot of the business owners I work with to not only look for one-on-one type of engagement from a mentor, but I do think that peer networking groups are very beneficial. Honestly, whether it's like industry or not like industry, I have seen some really amazing competitors come together with facilitation and have conversations about building their own community.
Awesome.
their processes and so forth, and having this mindset of sharing with abundance and not in competition, but
And that's part of
collaboration.
the new culture going forward.
Right.
You're seeing that, and I think there's a disconnect from the older generations going, but that's not how you do business.
Right.
And I think even the way Google does business, the sharing and selling and bringing people in, and I think that's what small business needs to embrace. And I love that the same industry coming together, because that's how you solve problems. That's what the banking world did to help fight scammers and issues that they were having, so they could share information. So now, that's what we all need to do, whether you're in law or construction or plumbing, share and grow together. Yeah.
There's plenty of work, right? And not enough people to do the work.
That's true. Actually, we've seen some great things here where people have been sharing staff for across retail. I think that's
that is nice. We did that a lot. About 5 years ago, we started doing that in the construction trade here in the Wichita Metro. And I remember when I took it to a board of directors for Associates of General Contractors of Kansas, they thought, we're competing for each other's employees. And now you're talking about sharing, and it was all because of having to create a really strong culture. And with 3 to 4 generations in these companies, I don't know, we're better together, right?
That's right.
We're better together.
That's right. Everyone can benefit from growth. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I'm looking forward to the 20th of April, where we can watch and hear and be part of the panels and the speakers that are going to be there. It's going to be 5 hours of absolute magic, where you can learn, earn, and understand how to return back to your community. And everyone is welcome. So no matter where you are, nationally or globally, you are welcome to come along. Just reach out so we can make sure we can get you there. And thank you so much for joining me, Ashley.
Yes, thanks for having me.
So thank you for listening to the Influential Leader podcast. And if you've enjoyed what you've heard today, then please let me know if there's anything else that you want to chat about. There's a link in the bottom. But if you have enjoyed it and you want it more, please subscribe so they come straight to your inbox. If you want to join us at SCORE, whether you're in business or corporate, it's a great opportunity to come to Women SCORE Hire program running out of Wichita. It's a national program in the US. I have a couple of free tickets for you to come along and learn, earn, and return your way to a better business. So please join me on the 21st of April. You reach out for the ticket, and welcoming you to come along. Speak soon.